Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole and today I'm going to be telling you guys my labor and delivery story. My last video I filmed, I think I was like 20 weeks pregnant, don't really remember. And yeah, I think I was talking about like my pregnancy experience because I didn't enjoy being pregnant. And yeah, that was like 20, I think I was 20 weeks. Something like that. Maybe a little further along. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But now, clearly, I have a baby. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery experience, I guess. And yeah, if you don't want to, or if you don't care about that, then don't watch this video. And I'll see you in my next video, hopefully. My due date was February 19th. Today's February 18th, so my due date was tomorrow. I had her February 6th, so I had her 2 weeks early, and I actually got induced. I got induced because I had cholestasis, I believe is how you pronounce it, and it was kind of funny because I had my doctor's appointment Tuesday. So I got induced on Wednesday the 5th, and my doctor's appointment was the day before on Tuesday the 4th. And I was talking to my doctor and I said, you know, my hands and feet are itchy, my body's itchy, and so we tested just to make sure, and she said, you know, it would take like a week-ish, like she might get the results back on like Monday, if I had cholestasis or not. And then that night, Tuesday night, I got tests back, not the cholestasis one because that's like a specific one, I guess, but it had my alkaline phosphate levels and those were super duper high. And so I called that night and they said my doctor would call me in the morning and talk to me about it. So then Wednesday the 5th, my doctor called me around 9 a.m. and said that it doesn't for surely mean that I have cholestasis because it's like a broad spectrum of things that it could be, but with my symptoms, considering I'm pregnant, she said that that would be her guess, is that that's what it is. And so she asked if I wanted to be induced that day, and I said sure, why not. So she told me to be at the hospital at 11. So called Chase, he came home from work, we got all ready to go, and we went to the hospital. We got checked in, got into our like hospital room and stuff, and they set me up on an IV and took some blood. And then my doctor got there because she was in like clinics, so the like clinic is like 15 minutes away from the hospital, I suppose, and so she came at like lunchtime and she checked my cervix and I was 3 centimeters dilated at that point, and so we just started Pitocin. And with the Pitocin, they up it by 2 every 30 minutes. So you start at the lowest, which is 2, then every 30 minutes you go 2 increments higher. So obviously, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever. I think she said they would go up to like 20, I believe she said. So we did that, and then I was there, you know, clearly all day. And then that night, I got the, what is it called? The epidural. I got it that night around 7, I want to say. Yeah, I believe I got it that night around 7. Anyway, for sure that night. I don't remember exactly what time, but I want to say it was around there. And then in the morning, pretty early that morning, my doctor came back and checked me again, and I think I got up to 4 centimeters, and then they wanted to break my water, so they broke my water that morning. And then, oh, I forgot to tell. Okay, also this video is gonna be like all over the place, and I'm really sorry. I should have wrote notes down, but I didn't. But when I got the epidural, everyone was like, "Oh, the worst part is like the numbing shot." I didn't even think the numbing shot was painful. I thought the actual epidural was painful. They said that I would feel like a shock or something like in my body, and that I should feel like evenly spread throughout, and like barely feel it. Well, he put the epidural in, and first of all I jumped, which you're not obviously supposed to do, and I did that. But then he went too far to the right side, so then when it sent the shock, it sent it just down my right leg, and that was a crazy experience. And so then he had to fix it, and then he did it again, and I still felt it on the right side, like just my right leg. And then he fixed it another time, and that time it was like all over and I barely felt it. I should mention the guy who did it though was like a trainee, I guess, and the actual like anesthesiologist was like right there like helping him, but he was like a trainee, I suppose you would say. I don't know. But yeah, so that was my experience getting the epidural, and then right after I got it, her heart rate dropped. So then they like laid my bed down, put a like air mask on me, made me go on my side, and they said we'll count to 3 and you need to like flip really fast on your other side. So that happened, and while like when it happened, they didn't tell me that was why. They just like laid me down, like put the thing on, said we're gonna do this, and then like after the fact they were like, hey, this is what happened, she looks good now, you look fine, whatever. But like while it was happening, I was like, what the fuck? And Chase was in the room with me, and he was like standing in the corner like, what is happening? So that was an experience. But yeah, so I got the epidural. They broke my water the next morning. All night I was flipping from like side to side, and I had like the peanut ball between my legs, so like every hour and a half she would like, my nurse would come in and like flip me on each side. Then my doctor came in that morning, broke my water, and I want to say I was at 4 at that point. And then, you know, she said that if it's like 7 o'clock that night and I still haven't had her yet, that we can talk about, you know, like other options, like if I want to keep going, if I want to get a C-section, you know, that obviously we'd have that conversation later, but that was like an option. But yeah, so then we went throughout the day, and then I finally reached 6 centimeters, which if you don't know is like active labor, and from there you generally dilate pretty quickly, which I did. I went from like 6 to 10 like so fast. I went from 6 to 8, and then like from 8 to 10 it was within like an hour. And I remember she checked me at one point and I was like 9.5. I was like 9.5 centimeters, and they were like, yeah, you know, once you start to feel like you need to push, like let us know. And I said, I feel like I need to poop really bad. And she's like, yeah, like that's normal, it's because she's sitting on your whatever it is that she's sitting on. And she said that like it'll feel like that. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then like 5 minutes later I was like, okay, I feel like I need to push so bad. Like it's not even just that I feel like I have to poop, like I genuinely like feel like I have to push really bad. And she's like, okay, well, you know, we'll give it a little bit more, whatever. And then a couple minutes later I was like, no, like I am trying so hard not to push, like my body is like pushing this baby out by itself and whatever. So they called the doctor out and whatever, and she was like, all right, we're having this baby. And so they quickly set everything up, got whatever, and I started pushing this baby out of my body. And I had my doctor, and then we had a like medical student. Are they called a resident? I don't really know. But he was in there, and then like my nurse was in there. And just started pushing this baby out, and it was such a weird feeling because like the lower half of your stomach is literally like pushing itself. Like it feels so, like, I don't even know how to explain it, like, unless you've experienced it. Like, it's just so weird because it literally feels like it's pushing the baby out by itself. But so anyway, they laid me back. Did they lay me? I don't think they laid me back. I made that up. They didn't lay me back. But they put the foot things up, and Chase was holding one leg, my nurse was holding the other leg, and you know, you're supposed to like push when you have a contraction, so that's what we did. I pushed her out. It took 16 minutes. Yeah, I pushed her out in 16 minutes, which I'm pretty proud of. That was after 27 hours of labor. It wasn't all obviously active labor. Like, I came in at 3 centimeters, so from 3 centimeters to like when I was pushing, it was 27 hours. But yeah, so it took me 16 minutes to push her out, and I had her at 2:55 p.m. on Thursday, February 6th. She was 6 pounds and 19 ounces, so she wasn't that big of a baby. Yeah, I did rip, kind of. I had to have like 2 little stitches. She wasn't gonna do them. She said she was just gonna hold a like towel or whatever and see if the bleeding stopped, and she said if it didn't, then she would put just like 2 stitches in. And then we held her for a while. We actually moved rooms that night. Like 2 hours later or so, we moved rooms. And then you have to stay at least 24 hours, or at least at my hospital, you have to stay at least 24 hours, like until she's 24 hours old. And so obviously we're at the hospital all the next day, just kind of hanging out. And I think we left the hospital at like 4:30 that next day. So Friday, we left the hospital at like 4:30 or something like that. So yeah, that was that. And yeah, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, you should definitely give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, definitely subscribe, because I will actually be starting posting. I will actually start posting. There we go. I'm not gonna say a specific day that I'm gonna post, just because I'm not sure. But once I get like more into the routine of things, I will make it like a set day or 2 days, whatever. But yeah, so make sure you subscribe, and yeah, we will see you guys in the next video.